Order! Order in the Grand Council! Supreme Commander Vaxul's thunderous voice echoed through the crystalline chamber, causing several of the more nervous council members to flinch. Not that I could blame them. 3 devastating defeats in as many cycles would make anyone jumpy. I adjusted my ceremonial sash and straightened my posture. As Admiral of the 7th Fleet, or what remained of it, I knew what was coming. The questions, the accusations, the inevitable demand for explanations that none of us truly had. Admiral Caxthor. Vaxol's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. Perhaps you'd care to explain how a species that hasn't even mastered faster-than-light travel managed to destroy half your battle cruisers. I cleared my throat, my secondary hearts beating slightly out of sync. Supreme Commander, with all due respect, the humans didn't exactly destroy our ships. I paused, knowing how ridiculous my next words would sound. They made us destroy them ourselves. The council chamber erupted in confused chittering. A younger council member, General Paxera, slammed her appendage on the crystal table. Impossible! Our warriors are the most disciplined in the known galaxy. Were, I corrected her, earning several gasps. Until we met the humans. I activated my neural projector, displaying footage from our last encounter. Watch this, and tell me what you see. The hologram showed one of our mighty battle cruisers facing off against a small human vessel, barely the size of a scout ship. The human ship was broadcasting something, not weapons fire, not energy beams, but sounds and images. They call it psychological warfare, I explained, my voice tight, but it's unlike anything we've encountered before. They don't try to intimidate or threaten. They make jokes. Jokes? Vaxul's expression plates shifted in confusion. During battle? Yes, and they laugh. They laugh while fighting, while dying, while watching their comrades fall. It's unsettling. I switched to another recording. This human commander, she started singing something called Never Gonna Give You Up over all frequencies. 3 of our ships crashed into each other trying to escape the transmission. The council chamber fell silent. Even Vaxul seemed at a loss for words. Finally, lead strategist Moxley spoke up, her voice trembling. Are you suggesting that these humans, they find combat amusing? I nodded grimly. Worse than that, they've weaponized their amusement. Our psychological profiles show our warriors are experiencing something unprecedented. They're becoming afraid of human laughter. Preposterous! General Paxera scoffed. Our warriors fear nothing. Then explain this, I said, playing the final recording. The screams of our own soldiers filled the chamber. They're singing again. By the void. They're singing and smiling. The recording cut off abruptly, leaving the council in stunned silence. I looked around at their horrified faces and added, We've discovered that humans have this strange ability to find humor in almost anything, even their own potential extinction. How do you fight an enemy that laughs in the face of death? Supreme Commander Vaxul's expression plates had gone completely pale. Admiral Caxthor, are you suggesting we should retreat? No, I replied, my voice heavy with resignation. I'm suggesting we should never have engaged them in the first place, because now they think we're funny. The council chamber erupted into chaos once again, but this time there was a new emotion in the air, fear. Not of human weapons or tactics, but of their inexplicable, terrifying laughter. The Battle of Proxima Station haunts my dreams. Even now, as I record this account, I can hear that infernal human music echoing through my memory centers. We thought it would be simple. A standard orbital assault on their furthest outpost. We had superiority in numbers, technology, and tactical position. We were wrong. So very, very wrong. Commander Elena Mad Dog Rodriguez made sure of that. Our initial scans showed minimal defenses around Proxima Station, just a handful of primitive ships and some basic weapon systems. I remember feeling almost disappointed. This would be no glorious victory, just a routine conquest of an inferior species. All ships, Battle Formation Delta, I ordered, my voice confident. Prepare to receive their surrender transmission. Instead, we received something else entirely. A loud, thumping rhythm began broadcasting across all frequencies. The humans called it music, specifically something called Highway to Hell. "Sir," my communications officer, Lieutenant Rixatal, clutched his audio receptors. "They're broadcasting on all channels. Should I block it?" Before I could respond, a human face appeared on our main view screen. Commander Rodriguez, grinning like a predator that had just cornered its prey. "Hey there, space friends. Welcome to the neighborhood. I see you brought the whole family." Her casual tone was unsettling. This wasn't how inferior species were supposed to act when faced with overwhelming force. "You will surrender your station immediately," I declared, trying to maintain authority. Rodriguez pretended to consider this, tapping her chin thoughtfully. How about instead we play a game? Your ships versus our party favors." Party favors? I didn't understand the term, but something in her expression made my third stomach clench. "Launch fighters," I commanded. 5 squadrons of our best pilots deployed, their formation perfect and deadly. That's when things got strange. The humans launched what appeared to be small, spherical objects. Our sensors initially classified them as mines, but they were different. They started flashing in multiple colors, spinning and releasing streams of shimmering particles. Are those party balloons?" Rixatal asked incredulously. "Surprise!" Rodriguez's voice boomed across the comms. The spheres exploded, not with destructive force, but with bursts of confetti and glitter. Our sensitive targeting systems went haywire, confused by the thousands of reflective particles now floating in space. "Status report!" I barked. "Sir, our fighters can't get clear targeting locks. The glitter it's everywhere. And sir, the humans they're laughing at us." Indeed, the human communication channels were filled with what they called party music, and the sound of their bizarre battle laughter. Our fighters, trying to maintain formation, began colliding with each other in the chaos. Rodriguez's face appeared again. "Oh, don't leave yet. We haven't even brought out the party games. Hey, who wants to play duck, duck, goose with our new plasma cannons?" I didn't understand the reference, but I definitely understood the series of energy beams that started picking off our confused fighters one by one. Each hit was accompanied by the humans shouting "Goose!" and erupting in more laughter. "Pull back," I ordered. "Reorganize at point." "Oh, no you don't," Rodriguez interrupted. "It's time for the conga line." A series of small human ships emerged from behind their station, flying in a bizarre single-file pattern. Each ship was trailing more of that cursed glitter, and they were they dancing? The formation weaved between our larger vessels, causing chaos as our gunners tried to track their erratic movements. "The humans are broadcasting something else," Rixatal reported, his voice cracking. It's a recipe for something called space cookies, along with jokes. Why would they—" I started to ask, but then I saw it. While we were distracted by their absurd performance, the humans had maneuvered their station's main weapon into position. Rodriguez's face appeared one last time, now wearing something on her head that sparkled. "Thanks for coming to our party. Here's a party favor to remember us by." The station's main cannon fired, but instead of a conventional energy beam, it released thousands of small autonomous drones. Each one was decorated with what humans call googly eyes, and emitted high-pitched giggling sounds as they swarmed our ships. "Sir," Rixatal was practically screaming now, "the drones they're drawing smiley faces on our hulls, with plasma cutters." I watched in horror as my mighty fleet was reduced to chaos by giggling drones, party balloons, and glitter. 3 of our destroyers collided while trying to escape the conga line. Another 2 were so thoroughly covered in glitter that their crews could no longer see through their viewports. "Retreat," I whispered, then louder, "Retreat!" As we fled, Rodriguez's voice followed us. "Oh, leaving so soon? But we haven't even done the karaoke yet." The sound of human laughter echoed through space long after we'd jumped to safety. Back in my quarters, I reviewed the battle footage, trying to make sense of it all. The humans had turned warfare into a party game, and in doing so, had completely shattered our military doctrine. How do you fight an enemy that treats battle like a celebration? How do you maintain discipline when your opponent is singing, dancing, and throwing confetti? Commander Rodriguez hadn't just defeated us, she'd made us look ridiculous, and somewhere out there, she was probably still laughing. Lead Analyst Blixiter's presentation to the High Council was interrupted for the third time by uncontrollable shuddering from the assembled dignitaries. I couldn't blame them. The footage we'd been watching would give anyone tremors. As you can see, Blixiter continued, her voice quavering slightly as she gestured to the holographic display, human responses to terror are unprecedented. This recording shows a human soldier trapped behind enemy lines, completely surrounded, with no hope of rescue. The footage played. The human, pinned down by heavy fire, was humming, actually humming. Then he pulled out a small device and started recording himself. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing the Surrounded by Aliens challenge. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Several council members made distressed whistling sounds through their respiratory tubes. Notice, Blixter pointed with a trembling appendage, how the human turns life-threatening danger into what they call content. Our psychological models simply cannot process this behavior. She switched to another recording. This one showed a human ship, heavily damaged, venting atmosphere. The communications channel captured the crew's final moments. Well, folks, the human captain announced cheerfully, looks like we're about to have an impromptu spacewalk. Anyone remember to pack their swimsuit? The entire crew laughed. They laughed, even as warning sirens blared in the background. Our research has revealed something disturbing, Blixter continued, pulling up a series of brain scan comparisons. Humans actually release pleasure chemicals when facing death. They've evolved to find humor in their own mortality. Supreme Commander Vaxul leaned forward. Are you suggesting they're all insane? Worse, Blixter replied. They're sane. They just process fear differently than any species we've encountered. When we feel terror, we respond with aggression or retreat. When humans feel terror, they make jokes. She displayed a chart showing various human combat recordings. We've documented over 3,000 instances of humans using what they call gallows humor during battles. They have something called memes that they share during combat. Look at this. The display showed a human ship broadcasting an image to an enemy vessel. It was a simple picture with text that read, "That awkward moment when you bring a space fleet to a meme fight." The enemy crew was so confused by this transmission that they failed to notice the humans had hacked their navigation systems, Blixter explained. The entire fleet crashed into a moon while trying to understand the joke. But the most disturbing evidence was yet to come. Blixter's voice dropped to a whisper as she played the final recording. This is from an interrogation of a captured human soldier. Watch what happens when we threaten them with our most advanced torture devices. The human prisoner looked at the array of terrifying implements and started giggling. Oh man, this is just like that one episode of SpongeBob. Hey, do you guys take requests? Because I've got a whole comedy routine worked out. We had to release the prisoner, Blixiter admitted. They were demoralizing our interrogators with what they called dad jokes. 3 of our best information extractors requested immediate retirement. She concluded her presentation with a series of recommendations, each more desperate than the last. We must avoid any further conflict with humans. Their ability to laugh in the face of death makes them impossible to intimidate. They treat warfare like entertainment. They're turning our superior technology into punchlines. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Finally, I spoke up. What about psychological warfare? Surely we can break their spirits somehow. Blixter let out a sound that might have been a laugh, if it wasn't so filled with despair. Admiral Caxthor, we tried. We showed them our most terrifying weapons. Know what they did? They named them. They're calling our planet killer device Big Chungus and our death ray Pew Pew McGee. She collapsed into her seat, her research tablets scattering across the floor. How do you wage psychological warfare against a species that thinks everything is funny, that turns their own fear into jokes, that responds to terror with memes? The answer, of course, was that you couldn't, and somewhere out there humans were still laughing, probably making up new jokes about us even as we spoke. We had discovered the galaxy's most terrifying weapon, human humor. They called it Operation Party Popper. We called it the day our military might become a galactic joke. The combined fleets of 3 star systems gathered at the edge of human space. 2,000 ships, the pride of our civilization, ready to end the human threat once and for all. Our soldiers were equipped with special audio filters to block human music. Our ships had anti-glitter shields. We thought we were prepared. Lieutenant Marcus Trickster Chen proved us devastatingly wrong. The battle began traditionally enough. Our fleet formed up in the sacred spear of victory formation, passed down through generations of warfare. Then Chen's voice crackled across every communication channel, somehow bypassing our blocks. "Hey, aliens! Want to see a cool video from Earth?" Before anyone could respond, every screen in our fleet started playing something. A human male dancing, singing about never giving up, never letting down. "By the void, we've been rickrolled," screamed our cultural expert right before fainting. But that was just the beginning. Chen had prepared what he called a greatest hits of internet culture special for us. While our commanders were trying to understand why they were being shown a singing human, our tactical displays were flooded with images. A cat asking, "Icon has victory?" Something called Doge, promising much defeat, very surrender. A human pointing at a butterfly asking, "Is this an alien invasion?" "Sir?" My communications officer was hyperventilating. They're turning our battle formations into something called reaction memes." Sure enough, human ships were rearranging our carefully planned formations through strategic baiting. The sacred spear of victory became what they called loss.jpg. Our defensive circle was transformed into something they called surprised Pikachu. Chen's voice came back, dripping with amusement. "Hey guys, check out my new TikTok channel, Pranking Aliens Gone Wrong, Not Clickbait." Our fleet's coordination crumbled. How could we maintain military discipline when every tactical move we made was being turned into what humans called quality content? "Launch the planet killer!" someone screamed in desperation. Big mistake. The moment our superweapon appeared, Chen's face lit up like a supernova. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, "it's meme review time." What happened next would be studied by military historians for generations. Chen had prepared a special transmission, a combination of something called Nyan Cat, Gangnam Style, and Epic Sax Guy, all playing simultaneously. But he'd done something to the frequencies, tuned them to match our ship's resonance patterns. "Everybody dance now," Chen's voice boomed as our mighty vessels began to vibrate in sync with his cursed music. The effect on morale was catastrophic. Our warriors, trained from birth to be serious and disciplined, were forced to watch their ships perform what humans called synchronized dancing in space. Some crews reported their ship's AI starting to bob up and down to the rhythm. "Sir," my tactical officer's voice was reaching previously unknown octaves, "the humans they're rating our evasive maneuvers. They're holding up scorecards." Indeed, small human ships were flying past our fleet, holding up large signs with numbers like 6.9/10, nice try, and 4.20, needs more spice. The breaking point came when Chen unleashed his masterstroke. He somehow got hold of our fleet's official anthem, remixed it with something called Sandstorm by Darude, and played it back to us while a creature called Dancing Baby floated across our view screens. "This is not war!" Admiral Paxera screamed before ordering his entire battle group to retreat. This is entertainment." He wasn't wrong. Humans across their territories were apparently streaming the battle live, with Chen providing commentary like he was hosting a sports event. And here we see the alien fleet attempting the classic runaway and panic maneuver. Let's see how that works out for them, folks. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe. Our forces broke. not under the might of human weapons, but under the weight of their relentless mimetic warfare. Ships crashed into each other as crews argued about whether they were being trolled or bamboozled. 3 dreadnoughts had to be abandoned after their entire crews developed something humans called second-hand embarrassment. As we retreated in disorder, Chen delivered his final blow. He broadcast a massive hologram into space, visible to every ship in the fleet. It was something he called a POV meme. POV, you brought an invasion fleet to human space and got turned into content. The last thing we heard as we fled was the sound of Chen starting what he called a live stream. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to use code ALIENS for 10% off your next invasion. Leave a comment below telling me which empire you want to see me prank next. Back at command, the post-battle analysis was grim. 17 ships lost to actual combat, 342 lost to meme-induced confusion. Countless more crews requesting immediate transfer to agricultural duties, claiming they could never show their faces in space again. But worst of all was the knowledge that somewhere out there, humans were watching recordings of our defeat, doing something called adding funny captions, and turning our mighty military into what they called viral content. We had reached our breaking point, not through force of arms, but through the devastating power of human humor. They hadn't just defeated us, they'd turned us into entertainment. And Lieutenant Marcus Chen, he won something called a Content Creator of the Year award. Apparently, our failed invasion had amazing engagement metrics. Looking back, I realized the moment everything changed. It wasn't during the grand battles or strategic defeats. It was during my personal encounter with human warriors, after my ship crashed on one of their orbital stations. There I was, trapped in a corner with 5 human soldiers approaching. Commander Jack Wise Guy Thompson led them, sporting what they called a dad joke t-shirt under his battle armor. "Hands up," Thompson called out, then grinned. Or should I say appendages up? Sorry, still learning alien anatomy. Give me a hand with the terminology. Oh wait, you don't have those either. His squad laughed. They were about to capture an enemy admiral, and they were cracking jokes. "Why?" I asked, genuinely puzzled. "Why do you laugh in the face of death and battle?" Thompson's expression softened. He actually sat down cross-legged in front of me, his weapon lowered. "Ever hear the one about the alien who walked into a bar? Is this really the time for—" "Humor," he interrupted, "is our shield, our weapon, our survival tool. When things get dark, we laugh. When we're scared, we joke. When death comes knocking, we ask if it wants to hear a knock-knock joke." His squad members nodded, taking positions around us but staying relaxed, as if this was a casual conversation rather than a military capture. "See," Thompson continued, "somewhere along our evolution we figured out that terror is less terrifying if you can laugh at it. Nuclear war, we made movies about riding bombs like rodeo bulls. Climate disasters, we created memes about swimming to work. Alien invasions." He grinned. "Well, you've seen how we handle those." But we studied your history?" I protested. "Your species has faced extinction multiple times." "Yep," one of his soldiers chimed in. "And we made jokes every single time. Ever heard of Pompeii graffiti? Those folks were writing jokes on walls while a volcano was about to toast them." That's when it hit me. Humans weren't just using humor as a weapon against us. They'd been using it as a weapon against their greatest enemy, fear itself. "Your species," I said slowly, "turned terror into entertainment because it was the only way to survive your own history." "Give the Admiral a cookie," Thompson laughed, "or whatever the equivalent is for your species. We learned pretty early that you can either cry about the apocalypse or make memes about it. We chose memes." Another soldier pitched in. "Remember that time we nearly had a nuclear war, and everyone started posting, 'If you were a nuclear fallout shelter, what kind would you be?' quizzes." The humans all laughed again, sharing memories of how they'd faced various catastrophes with jokes and memes. And suddenly their psychological warfare made perfect sense. We had evolved to face our fears with aggression or retreat. Humans had evolved to point at their fears and say, "That's what she said." I still don't understand that reference, but they assured me it was hilarious. "So," Thompson said, helping me up, "want to hear that alien walks into a bar joke?" As they led me to their brig, sharing increasingly terrible puns and jokes, I finally understood why humans were the galaxy's most terrifying warrior species. Not because they were stronger, or more advanced, or even more numerous, but because they had mastered the most powerful force in the universe, the ability to laugh at their own doom. How do you defeat an enemy that finds humor in their defeats? How do you terrorize a species that turns terror into trending topics? You can't. And that's the final revelation that changed our approach to humanity forever. We had developed weapons to counter fear, weapons to counter anger, weapons to counter pride. But we had no weapon to counter a species that responded to existential threats by asking, "What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're unboxing the apocalypse. Don't forget to smash that like button." And in the end, we didn't retreat because of their weapons or tactics. We retreated because they made us question everything we knew about warfare. After all, how seriously can you take yourself as a terrifying conqueror when your target audience is rating your invasion plans with reaction memes? Thompson still sends me joke compilations every solar cycle. I pretend not to read them. I do, though. And sometimes I even laugh. The new galactic protocol regarding Earth is simple. Do not engage. Not in combat, not in threats, not even in serious diplomatic discussions. Because if there's one thing worse than being defeated by humans, it's becoming what they call a reaction GIF. I should know. There's still a video floating around their internet of my first diplomatic meeting, where I tried to threaten their planet. They turned my speech into something called a dance remix, and it went viral, whatever that means. The High Council's official directive now includes this warning. Approach Earth only if you're prepared to become content. Their weapons may not be superior, but their ability to turn military encounters into entertainment is unmatched in known space. We've even started seeing our own younger generations imitating them. Last week, I caught a cadet watching something called Top 10 Epic Alien Invasion Fails Compilation. We were number 3 on the list. The cadet tried to explain that it was research. Right. Some of our scientists suggest we wait a few million years, hoping humans might evolve into a more serious species. I had to laugh at that suggestion. Yes, laugh. It seems their humor is somewhat contagious after all. The truth is, the galaxy has gained a strange sort of respect for Earth. Not the traditional respect born from fear of superior firepower, but something new. Something that makes elite warrior races check their invasion plans for potentially embarrassing moments that might end up as memes. Commander Thompson sent me a message recently. "Hey Admiral, heard you're teaching at the War College now. Need any funny PowerPoint slides?" I declined. The last time I accepted his help, my entire lecture on superior alien battle tactics ended up with something called LOL cats in the presentation. My students couldn't stop giggling for days, so here we are. The mighty galactic civilizations, armed with planet-destroying weapons and unimaginable technology, keeping a respectful distance from a species that turned warfare into social media content. The new students at our war college always ask the same question. But how do we beat them? My answer is always the same. We don't. You can't defeat an enemy that's already turned losing into an art form. And somewhere out there, on that blue planet they call Earth, humans are probably reading this very report. They're probably adding funny captions to it, turning it into whatever they call those short repeating videos. And you know what? Let them. Because in the end, they taught us something valuable. Sometimes the best way to face the darkness of space isn't with bigger weapons or better tactics. Sometimes it's with a laugh, a joke, and the unshakable ability to find humor in even the grimmest situations. Just don't tell them I said that. I really don't need to become another one of their memes. Too late. I hear they're already calling me the Admiral who learned to LOL. End report. P.S. No, Commander Thompson, I still don't want to start a TikTok account.